안녕하세요. 모터스포츠 이야기 쉽게 전하는 채널, 저는 마요네즈입니다. 오늘은 이전에 저희가 예고해 드렸었죠. 바로 이 선수와 저희가 드디어 인터뷰를 하게 됐습니다. 이 선수는 뭐 여러분들 다들 잘 아시겠지만 포뮬러1, 그다음 WEC, 그리고 지금 포뮬러E에서 성공적인 커리어를 이어가고 있는 선수이기도 하죠. 바로 세바스티앙 부이미 선수입니다. 오늘 서울 리프리 때문에 이제 한국에 방문을 해주셨는데, 이 선수와 함께 평소 궁금했던 점들에 대해서 여러분들이 남겨주신 질문들 토대로 한번 인터뷰를 진행해볼 생각이에요. 개인적으로 좀 굉장히 긴장되기도 하는데, 왜냐하면은 그 현역 레이싱 드라이버, 그러니까 전 세계를 무대로 레이스를 하는 선수를 직접 만나서 이렇게 이야기를 나눌 수 있는 기회라는 게 그렇게 많이 오는 게 아니잖아요. 그래서 무척 긴장되는데, 무엇보다도 부이미 선수의 건강이 좀 우선이기 때문에 여기 현장에 계신 모든 분들 코로나19 방역 수칙을 철저히 준수하면서 촬영에 임하고 있다는 점 미리 말씀드리고요. 저 역시도 마찬가지로 부이미 선수와 직접 대화를 나눠야 되기 때문에 이렇게 마스크를 착용하고 인터뷰를 진행하게 된 점 미리 양해 부탁드립니다. 지금 오셨다고 하네요. 그럼 한번 모셔보겠습니다. 세바스티앙 부이미 선수입니다. 세바스티앙 부이미 선수 너무 반갑습니다. 저는 체커스라고 하는 모터스포츠 채널을 운영하고 있는 마요네즈라고 하는데요. 먼저 한국에 있는 팬분들에게 인사 한번 부탁드릴게요.
Hi everyone, I'm Sebastian Buemi and I'm really happy to be here in Korea, in Seoul. It's an amazing location. I can't wait to race here on the weekend, and I hope you will all enjoy it very much.
본격적인 질문에 앞서가지고 사실 오늘 준비한 질문들이 한국에 있는 팬분들이 당신에게 궁금한 점들을 저에게 남겨줬어요. 그래서 그 질문들을 이제 드릴 건데, 한국에 당신의 팬들이 이렇게 많이 있다라는 걸 알고 있었나요?
Yeah, I don't know whether we have many fans in Korea, but I've seen already quite a few spectators yesterday at the track, obviously around the stadium. There were some concerts in the evening, and it seemed to be really popular. So I guess we will really experiment tomorrow and Sunday because that's the race days. But I'm looking forward to see lots of people turning up.
부이미 선수는 포뮬러1에서도 활동을 하셨고 WEC라든가 그다음에 지금은 포뮬러2에서도 활동을 하고 계신 드라이버인데, 아무래도 이렇게 하다 보니까 레이스 커리어에서 경력도 화려하고 또 성공적인 커리어를 갖고 계시잖아요. 좀 특이한 점 중에 하나는 이렇게 새 레이스 시리즈를 모두 경험해 본 드라이버 분들이 사실 많이 없어요. 그래서 새 레이스 시리즈를 다 경험해 본 그 경험으로서 포뮬러2가 다른 시리즈와 좀 어떤 점이 달랐는지 이야기해 주실 수 있으신가요?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I think Formula E, as everyone knows, it's a fully electric car, so obviously the noise is kind of different. The race weekends are different. It's a one-day event, only in the city centers, very small, tiny tracks with lots of bumps. I think the technicality of the cars are obviously different because we don't drive with slick tires. We drive with groove tires that are similar to road car tires. And clearly we drive with the battery at the back of the car, so the behavior is a bit different to what you would experiment in a normal single-seater or WEC car. But at the end, Formula E is improving massively. We had the Gen 1 car, where we had to swap cars in the race. Then we had the Gen 2, and the Gen 2 last race will be on Sunday. And then next year we go to the Gen 3 with a lighter car, faster, more power. So it has had a massive evolution throughout the years, and obviously I'm really happy and proud that I was there from the beginning, and I was able to experiment the improvement of the cars.
다양한 레이스 커리어를 갖고 계시는데, 아까도 드린 질문이긴 하지만 모든 레이스 커리어 중에서 가장 기억에 남는 순간이 있었나요? 그리고 혹시라도 가장 아쉬운 순간이 있었다면 언제였는지 좀 얘기해 주실 수 있나요?
Well, I think the best moments are always when you win. So when I won the championship in season 2, or when I won Le Mans for the first time, or even when I did my first race in Formula 1, that was an amazing moment. But Yeah, maybe the most difficult ones when I lost the championship in season 1 and 3 in FORMULA-E, just for 1 point in season 1, that was hard. Season 3 I had to miss a couple of races, so I would say those kind of moments obviously are hard to take, but they also make you stronger and better. So yeah, hopefully you know, I'll be in that position of winning again very soon.
그 레이스를 시작하시게 된 계기가 좀 궁금해요. 그 할아버지도 레이스를 하셨던 걸로 알고 있고 한데 혹시 뭐 가족 중에 구혜미 선수가 레이싱 드라이버가 되는데 영향력을 좀 미치는 분들이 계셨는지 궁금합니다.
Yeah, obviously my grandfather was doing some races a long time ago. He did the 24 hours of Le Mans. He did lots of hill climb in Switzerland. So obviously I grew up in a world where we have a dealership in Switzerland. So I grew up around cars. And clearly when I was 5 years old, I received a go-kart for Christmas. So from the very beginning, when I was a tiny boy, I started to drive go-karts around the dealership in Switzerland, and I really enjoyed it. So I don't really remember my life without go-karts or cars. But yeah, I suppose that my family in general was obviously a key factor in bringing me up to where I am today, because they helped me, they brought me to all the races, we did all the go-kart and stuff like that together.
그 고카트가 지금 포뮬러 1이나 포뮬러 2 커리어를 갖고 가는데 많은 도움이 됐었나요?
Yes, go-kart is very important to become a good racing driver. You learn the basic stuff. You learn the fighting, the improving the performance, the lines. You learn basically everything, but it's just smaller. So somehow today, I don't think it's possible to be very successful in single seaters, in motorsport in general, if you didn't do go-karts before when you were young.
스위스라는 나라가 조금 저는 궁금했어요. 그러니까 스위스가 금융이나 제조나 기계, 기술 분야에서는 뭐 엄청난 영향을 가지고 있는 나라인데 자동차 산업에서는 조금 그렇진 않아 보였었거든요. 근데 당신처럼 훌륭한 드라이버가 이렇게 많이 나올 수 있었던 이유가 있을까요? 스위스라는 환경이 마치 핀란드처럼 레이싱 드라이버들을 키워낼 수 있는 어떤 환경을 갖고 있는지 그게 좀 궁금합니다.
Yeah, I think in Switzerland, obviously, we are a very rich country, so we are very lucky to have great brands. Obviously, MAXON is
Yeah.
from Switzerland, and really proud, obviously, to represent such a nice brand. But as you said, Switzerland is obviously a country where racing is still forbidden after the accident in Le Mans in the 50s. But obviously you can race go-karts, and then Switzerland is a small country, so you anyway don't have many possibilities, or wouldn't have any possibilities to have a racetrack, so you need to go to France or Italy. It is not so far. It is clear that it's more complex to become a racing driver in Switzerland than it would be maybe in a different country like Italy, Spain or France, because you don't have any tracks, because you have to travel quite a lot. But if you really want it, and if you are really committed to achieving strong results, it's still possible, even if you are a Swiss driver. And as I said, we have great brands supporting young people in Switzerland, and I'm obviously really proud to represent some of them.
그 팬분들 중에 그 탑 클래스 레이싱 드라이버가 평소에 어떤 자동차를 타고 있는지 궁금해하는 사람들이 되게 많거든요. 그 지금 어떤 차를 타고 계신지, 혹은 전기차를 타고 계신지도 궁금하고, 그다음에 어린 시절에 가장 타고 싶었던 자동차가 뭐였는지도 궁금해하더라고요.
Yeah, I have a few cars at home because I obviously like cars. I even have cars that I raced with, including my Formula 1 car, but obviously in the museum. But I have a Nissan Leaf. It's an all-electric car. Obviously, for where I live in Switzerland, it's kind of nice. I can charge it at home, it's easy, but I also have other cars, you know, I have a Nissan GTR, Lexus LFA, Ferrari, so I have a few cars, but obviously in Switzerland I drive quite a bit my electric car. Yeah.
평소에 그 갖고 있는 차 중에 가장 애착이 가는 차가 혹시 있을까요?
It's hard to say. I think there is many cars. Obviously, I love the GTR. I love the LFA. But as a child, I loved the Ferrari F40.
Wow.
I loved that when I was a kid. Yeah. I don't have one, but I really loved it. Yeah.
몇 년 전 세계를 다니시면서 아주 바쁜 스케줄을 보내고 계신데 쉴 때는 주로 어떤 일들을 하시나요?
Yeah, I think I try to spend time with my family in general, kids. Bring them to school, do the normal stuff you would do if you had the opportunity to be at home. I travel a lot. It's not easy to have a normal life, but I like just to do normal stuff. I go skiing, or I try to play tennis, or I go on the lake. I do some sporty stuff, but I like obviously to try to have a normal life for a few days.
가족들이 확실히 1년 중에 가족들과 함께 보낼 수 있는 시간들이 좀 많이 없을 것 같은데 가족들은 어떻게 아빠나 남편의 어떤 이런 직업들을 잘 이해하고 있나요?
Yes, yeah. I think my family, especially my parents, obviously they did everything they could to give me the opportunity to race, so they fully understand all the sacrifices they've made themselves, many, in order to find the financing and obviously to find the time to bring me everywhere. And my wife, obviously we know each other since a very long time, so she knows exactly what it takes to be successful, to be in this sport. So I think it's amazing, and it's very important to have good support from your family, especially if you travel so much, you are never home. It's difficult to have a normal life, let's say, so having the support from the family is extremely important. And obviously my kids are still small, so they don't understand all the time why I travel so much, but I try obviously to make them understand that this is my work, and obviously I need to be successful and I need to work hard.
지금 아들이 2명 있는 걸로 알고 있는데 아들들이 만약에 레이싱 드라이버를 직업으로 선택하고 싶다라고 한다면 아빠로서 어떤 조언을 해주시고 싶으신가요?
Yeah, I think that I would try to support them, obviously, if they really want to do that. It's not necessarily an easy life to have, but if they want to do it, I will try to support them. I will try to give them advice, obviously, on what I can. You know, I know how to drive cars, and I will try to help as much as I can in case they really want it, but hopefully not, you know, because it's cost a lot of money, and it's not always easy, but you know, I think I need to give them good opportunities, so I will see what they want to do, but I will support. Yeah.
한국에도 당신처럼 성공한 레이싱 드라이버를 직업으로 갖고 싶다는 젊은 친구들이 굉장히 많은데요. 그들한테 좀 이야기를 해줄 수 있는 게 있다면 좋겠어요. 그러니까 예를 들어서 모터스포츠 세계에서 어떻게 당신이 성공을 거두었고, 그 다음에 성공을 거두기 위해서는 어떤 재능들이 좀 필요했었는지 그런 것들 좀 궁금해하고 있습니다.
I think you need obviously talents. You need to be good at driving cars. This is pretty clear. But it's a difficult sport, so you need to start early. You need to do a lot of hours. I think it's important to do a lot of go-karts because you learn the basic stuff. Yeah. And then obviously, if you want to reach very high level, you need to try to go to Europe. You need to try to find the support, financial support, to be able to go there and then drive in the most difficult categories and teams and championships, because clearly this is how you learn the most, is to fight against the best. And the best are mainly in Europe. and then obviously to enter Formula 1 or Formula E, you have to be based from there, so it's not always easy for people outside of Europe to enter such a sport.
그럼 이제 후원사인 맥슨에 관한 이야기를 조금 몇 가지 해봐야 될 것 같은데, 지금 이제 전기모터 업계 하이엔드 기업인 맥슨과 당신이 함께 하고 있는데요. 어떤 계기로 이렇게 맥슨과 함께 할 수 있게 됐나요?
Yeah, I think it's now been 3-4 years, 4 years close. We were going to have the second race in Switzerland of Formula E, and I was at the embassy for one of my sponsors, and many people came to listen to Formula E that was going to race in Bern, which is the capital of Switzerland, and then I got to meet people from MAXON at that event, and I hope they enjoyed what I said, and somehow we started to discuss the future, to discuss a little bit what I do, and then we had a meeting to discuss whether there would be a possibility to one day work together, and actually I got to meet Eugene and then Mr. Helminger, and I think we had a good match, and I'm really proud now that I've been linked to MAXON and an ambassador of MAXON now since over 3 years. So I'm really happy to be here in Seoul, not far from one of the factory of MAXON.
맥슨이 사실은 전기모터 쪽으로는 굉장히 높은 기술을 갖고 있는 회사인데, 이런 회사가 있다는 걸 포뮬러E 이전에도 알고 있었나요?
I think I had just heard of MAXON once or twice, but the very funny part is that the Formula E car I have, I think before I became an ambassador for MAXON, we had a small issue on the car, and I had to retire the car in the first race in Saudi Arabia 4 years ago now. And then my team said, okay, we need to change that water pump motor. It doesn't work and it's not good. And they told me, okay, now we go to the very best. I said, oh yeah, the very best, okay. But I didn't ask much, and then a few races after, I saw on one of the computer of the engineer, I saw MAXON, and I said, but do you know I'm the ambassador of MAXON? And he said, yeah, but they are the best, they are the best. So we have the new water pump is obviously with MAXON and the motor, and I was really obviously impressed and happy. It was a funny moment, but yeah, even on my racing car, obviously I have some MAXON parts.
그러면 미래에도 사람들이 맥슨을 주목해야 될 만한 이유를 앰버서더시니까 뭐 좀 알려주실 수 있나요?
I think it's a great brand that is expanding, and you know, today electric mobility is very popular. Everything linked to electric motors and mobility in general, whether you are in, as I said, the mobility or medicine or everywhere, basically it's clearly the future. So I'm sure that MAXON will be a big key player in the future. It is already, but I'm sure it will remain and become even a bigger player. And obviously, as a Swiss driver, I'm extremely happy and proud to represent a Swiss brand. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to the future with MAXON.
이번 서울 이프리를 끝으로 포뮬러E가 이제 이번 시즌을 마감하는데, 이번 시즌을 통틀어서 이 레이스는 괜찮았다, 좋았다라고 하는 뭐 기억에 남는 부분이라던가, 혹은 이건 좀 아쉬웠다라고 하는 부분들이 있을까요?
Yeah, the last 2 seasons, this season and the last season, have been difficult for us. We've been winning a lot before, and the last 2 seasons have been difficult. The regulation has changed a little bit, and we had to homologate the powertrain for 2 years. And yeah, I think we've had a few limitations, that we know, but unfortunately there was not much we could do. So we've been fighting as hard as we could to try to achieve the best possible results, but clearly, you know, 6th or 7th or 5th is not really what we want to achieve. We want to achieve better results. So a bit disappointed, let's say, with how the last 2 years have gone. I think I've done a good job this year, but yeah, I was expecting a bit more. So obviously this is now the end of the Gen 2 on Sunday here in Seoul, and next year we will go into a new car, totally new car with new regulation, and everyone will restart from zero. So I can't wait, obviously, to be on the grid for the first race next year.
그 다음의 도전 목표가 궁금해요. 그러니까 지금 포뮬러2도 경험을 하셨고 포뮬러1도 경험을 하셨고 뭐 WEC에서도 업적을 많이 쌓으셨는데 그 다음에 이제 레이싱 드라이버로서 다음 어떤 도전 목표가 있다면 소개를 좀 해주시겠어요?
Yeah, I want to continue to race in WEC and FormulaE. I want to be successful. So this year I won the 24 Hours of Le Mans for the first time, which is already a good achievement, but I want to achieve more. So clearly my objective is to win again in FormulaE very soon, and then obviously to try to continue to win in WEC. So I'm happy obviously in those two categories, and I just want to win more races.
아직 한참 먼 이야기이긴 한데 레이싱 드라이버로서의 삶을 끝내고 그 다음 삶을 어쨌든 인생의 2막을 살아야 되잖아요. 그럴 때 당신은 어떤 삶을 한번 살아보고 싶은가요?
I don't know. I feel like I still have a good few years in me to try to achieve good results. Obviously, I have a few things already lined up in Switzerland, where I come from, the family business with the dealership, obviously my kids, a few investments I had. So I want to be racing for a few more years, but obviously I'm already looking at what could be very interesting in the future. But I somehow want to be still linked to motorsport somehow.
이른 아침부터 좀 인터뷰를 응해 주셔가지고 너무 감사했고, 저 개인적으로는 실제로 뵐 수 있어서 너무 영광이었어요. 제가 굉장히 사실 팬이었거든요. 토로로서 계셨을 때부터 굉장히 팬이었었거든요. 그래서 시즌 마지막 레이스 서울 이프리 잘 마무리를 해주시기를 바라고, 좋은 성적 거두었으면 하고, 그렇게 진심으로 응원하고 있고요. 끝으로 한국 팬들에게 마지막으로 남겨주시고 싶은 이야기가 있으면 하나만 좀 남겨주시겠어요?
Thank you very much for listening. I hope you did enjoy that, and I hope you will come and watch the race. It's going to be very interesting, and I hope that we will come back very soon again in Seoul for a new race with new cars. And yeah, I can't wait to be racing at the weekend. Thank you.
네, 감사합니다. 여러분, 지금까지 세바스티앙 선수였습니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much.